Hello, good morning. Jesse's back. It is Sunday here in cold and rainy Nashville. I wanted to give a status update. I have a little spreadsheet here. You know I love my spreadsheets. Yoink. Yoink. The Earthquake of Amplification build, Slams Enjoyer. It is fun, no question, and that's the goal. But is it good? Unfortunately, I think the overall answer is like the build is a B minus, maybe a C plus. When you hit an earthquake on the ground, you have 5 seconds before the aftershock. Boom. 5 seconds in this game is a long time. That's a lot of opportunity to die. But there's something kind of fun and interesting and unique about running around waiting for your damage to go off. It does feel like you planted a bomb and you're almost like running away and escaping, and then the mobs that are chasing you all get blown up after 5 seconds. The rare modifiers in this game, there's some brutal ones for this build. I think Temporal Bubble is the worst, but Mana Siphoner is tough, unless you have Life Tap. And then obviously, if you have an enemy that can block your attacks, you may just wait 5 seconds just for your attack to get blocked, because that aftershock can get blocked, which is brutal. And a part of this delayed damage thing is that you need to be tanky. You need to have consistent survivability. You run out of flasks kind of easily if something is too tanky for you, because you have to hit several earthquakes in order to bring it down. So that's no bueno. Fortify uptime stuff and conditional stun immunity. This is more defensive complaints. I don't ever think this build was going to be a defensive monster. It actually has 24 Fortify stacks, which is great. But the main problem is that in this game, you can just get absolutely smoked by degens and overwhelming amounts of elemental damage. I think that being at a distance is just too valuable. And being able to kill things before they get on top of you. Also, I think that freeze and chill, the ailments that can help defend against really, really fast monsters, we don't have a lot of that. I actually already 6-linked my Earthquake, so that's a check off the list. Nice. 5-link Sunder, this was sort of a dream, was to put my Sunder into either the helmet or the glove slot that had an additional link to it by way of faster attacks or something, by way of like a Elder mod. But I actually don't think I'm going to do this anymore. I think I'm satisfied with the build as is. Upgrade the jewelry and automate flasks and curses. Those are probably the only two big upgrades that I'm going to do. I don't know how much I'm going to upgrade this build, to be honest. I think I've pretty much closed the book on that one. Final thoughts on this. The build excels at nothing. I thought for a while that this build actually was going to be a boss killer of sorts. It can't clear. Slam builds are notoriously bad at clear. They don't have proliferation, and they don't have all the extra projectiles. A lot of times you can just have little mobs that survive. They somehow miss all of your AoE. I think the clear of slams is just not that great. I think maybe there are some other slams that have better clear, but Earth Shatter and then this build just don't have great clear if you're trying to move fast through a map. And lately, I have basically been skipping the full clear and just going straight for essences and for map bosses, which this build was okay at, actually. Killing T16 map bosses, I think, was the only thing that I felt comfortable with in this build. It was something that I knew that this build could deliver pretty efficiently. but the damage is just not that amazing. And I think in this game, in order to be a real boss killer, you need to have incredible damage. And this build's damage is not incredible. Yeah, I don't know. You need to choose a path, damage or speed. This is something that Palstron and some other content creators have talked about. If your build is not good at killing single target and doesn't have extremely high damage for bosses, then your build needs to have really, really fast clear speed. Basically, the argument is that maybe some bow builds don't have great single target, but the way that they can clear a map and just race through is so efficient that it pays for itself, even though it takes a little bit longer to kill the map boss. So, big time next steps. While we're here on this page, we may as well talk about a little bit of what I'm doing later. Next steps. Echoforge Occultist. This is the build that I'm currently leveling up. Publix Pure Water, shout out. I don't think it's going to be very good, but we only play off-meta stuff. I noticed that these Echoforges were very inexpensive. They're just so cheap. And I was like, why is this end-game weapon so inexpensive? So I figured I would just buy one for fun. And we're leveling that up now, and maybe we'll throw in some Spectres. I don't know yet. Impale Champion. Boring. I played the Shattering Steel Champion. I know the Splitting Steel version is probably better, but that's Cheato Impale here. We leveled this up through the campaign and had a great time. And then once we hit maps, we still had a pretty good time. I shuffled the gems around a bit. I got a 6-link. And what I wanted to do was get Entropic Devastation and maybe do some Blade Blast memes. But as it stands, that character's a little dead in the water. And then random shadow. I don't know. The bright lights, this character, I leveled this and I used traps to level it up. And then I realized I didn't have a good plan. And I don't even like the name Bright Lights, to be honest. Might delete it just to make a new name. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I do something with that. But I stopped cold turkey with that and switched to the champion. So I'm all over the place. I would think this build has potential. So that's what I'm doing right now. That's probably what I'll do some of today. I hope you all have a pleasant Sunday. Cherish these moments. Coffee.